Picture a 1960s Christmas morning. An aluminum tree sparkles under a rotating color wheel. Bubble lights percolate slowly on the branches. LED tinsel hangs in perfect silver strands. Under the tree sits a wrapped carton of cigarettes next to a genuine fruitcake someone actually wants. This wasn't unusual. This was Christmas for millions of American families. Today we're exploring 25 traditions from that era that have vanished so completely, they're almost hard to believe. Bubble lights on trees. These captivating decorations featured colored liquid that bubbled continuously when heated by internal light bulbs, creating mesmerizing motion throughout Christmas trees. Noma Electric introduced bubble lights in 1946, but they achieved peak popularity during the 1960s. A standard string containing 7 lights cost $2.99 in 1965, approximately $28 today. The sealed glass tubes contained specialized lightweight oil that began percolating once warmed, requiring roughly 5 minutes to initiate bubbling action. Children sat transfixed, watching the hypnotic, continuous bubble motion. Each individual light consisted of fragile glass that shattered easily, releasing the mysterious contents. Parents worried children might attempt drinking the liquid, though it proved relatively non-toxic. Different manufacturers' formulations bubbled at varying speeds, creating diverse visual effects. Some families assembled multiple strings to maximize the bubbling spectacle. These lights consumed substantial electricity, producing noticeably increased utility bills. By 1975, energy crisis concerns, combined with stricter safety regulations, significantly reduced their popularity. Modern LED technology can't generate sufficient heat to produce bubbling effects. Contemporary reproduction bubble lights exist, but lack the authentic, unpredictable character of vintage versions. That gentle, percolating enchantment has largely disappeared from modern Christmas celebrations. Aluminum Christmas trees. The metallic silver Christmas tree represented the pinnacle of 1960s space-age sophistication. Manufactured primarily by the Aluminum Specialty Company in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, these shimmering trees sold for $15 to $25 between 1959 and the late 1960s, roughly $150 to $250 in today's money. The aluminum construction made traditional electric lights dangerous, so families purchased rotating color wheels instead. These motorized discs featured color gels that cast shifting red, blue, green, and amber hues across the metallic branches. Available in heights from 2 to 8 feet, the trees featured distinctive brush-like branch tips. At their peak in 1965, these artificial trees decorated nearly 40% of American homes. The 1965 debut of A Charlie Brown Christmas famously mocked their artificiality, contributing to their rapid decline. By 1969, sales had collapsed. Today's vintage aluminum trees fetch hundreds of dollars from collectors nostalgic for their futuristic glamour. Tinsel made of lead. Until 1972, those sparkling silver strands adorning Christmas trees contained actual lead foil, not plastic. German craftsmen invented lead tinsel back in 1610, and its unique properties created a distinctive sparkle impossible to replicate with modern materials. In 1965, a box containing 1,000 strands cost just 39 cents, approximately $3.50 today. Families treated tinsel preciously, carefully collecting and storing strands for reuse year after year. The metal's weight allowed it to drape perfectly straight, forming cascading silver waterfalls down tree branches. Children dedicated hours to methodically placing individual strands. Though impatient, ones simply tossed handfuls for instant coverage. The FDA eventually banned lead tinsel because of poisoning dangers, particularly for curious children who might ingest it. Manufacturers substituted aluminum and plastic alternatives, but neither material captured lead's distinctive characteristics. The new Mylar tinsel felt lighter, tangled frustratingly, and generated annoying static electricity. Many families abandoned tinsel decorating entirely. That heavy, lustrous shimmer characterizing 1960s Christmas trees exists now only in old photographs. Christmas Club savings accounts. Beginning each January, millions of Americans made weekly deposits ranging from $1 to $10 into specialized Christmas Club savings accounts at local banks. By 1965, more than 14 million Americans participated in these programs, collectively saving over $2 billion annually. Banks distributed special payment booklets containing 50 weekly deposit coupons to track contributions. These accounts paid no interest, but banks mailed complete checks in early November, guaranteeing available Christmas funds. Some employers facilitated participation through payroll deduction programs. The First National Bank of Brooklyn claims to have originated this concept in 1909. Banks competed for customers by offering premium gifts like toasters, blankets, or dishes when opening new Christmas Club accounts. Missed payments required starting over or accepting reduced final payouts. The weekly deposit ritual taught children valuable lessons about disciplined saving. Banks operated dedicated Christmas Club teller windows during peak enrollment seasons. By 1980, automated savings transfers and widespread credit card availability rendered Christmas clubs obsolete. Modern consumers finance holiday shopping through credit rather than disciplined year-long savings programs. That practice of making regular weekly Christmas deposits has completely vanished from American banking. Door-to-door caroling. Organized groups of carolers routinely traveled through neighborhoods during December evenings in 1960s and early 1970s, serenading residents with traditional Christmas hymns. Churches coordinated youth groups, scout troops bundled against the cold, and entire families participated in this annual ritual. Homeowners anticipated their arrival, preparing cookies and hot chocolate for the singers. Armed with songbooks and flashlights, carolers followed planned routes through residential areas. Many groups combined entertainment with charity work, carrying collection boxes for organizations like UNICEF and the March of Dimes. The tradition reached its zenith around 1968, when approximately 60% of American neighborhoods reported regular caroling activity. The mid-1970s brought growing stranger danger fears, increasingly busy schedules, and heightened liability concerns that discouraged the practice. Gated communities and high-rise apartment buildings made spontaneous neighborhood caroling logistically impossible. Contemporary caroling occurs primarily at nursing homes and scheduled community events rather than impromptu doorstep visits. The delightful surprise of hearing Silent Night sung on your front porch belongs firmly to Christmas past. Sears Wish Book arrivals. The annual arrival of the Sears Christmas Wish Book in late summer rivaled Christmas morning excitement for American children. These massive 600-page catalogs, weighing approximately 5 pounds, appeared in mailboxes each August from 1933 through 1993. Children immediately claimed them, spending subsequent months circling desired toys using different colored pens to distinguish each child's preferences. The 1969 edition alone featured 225 pages dedicated exclusively to toys. Parents wielded these catalogs as behavioral management tools, reminding children that Santa monitored their wish book selections. Annual production and distribution cost Sears approximately $100 million. Rural families particularly relied on these catalogs, as their local Sears store might represent their only practical shopping option. The toy sections displayed elaborate staged arrangements impossible to duplicate in physical retail locations. By Christmas, these well-used catalogs showed dog-eared pages, tears, and countless marker circles. The final 1992 Christmas edition marked the conclusion of this beloved tradition. Internet shopping replaced the tangible pleasure of browsing physical pages and the prolonged anticipation between selecting and receiving desired items. Department store window displays. Major urban department stores invested enormous resources creating spectacular mechanical Christmas window displays that attracted millions of viewers annually. Retail giants like Macy's, Gimbels, Wanamakers, and Marshall Field's competed intensely for the most impressive seasonal presentations. Macy's 1962 display alone cost $75,000. approximately $750,000 today, and required continuous year-round planning. These elaborate installations featured complex automated scenes far beyond simple mannequins, incorporating moving figures, operating miniature trains, and synchronized musical accompaniment. Families treated downtown trips to view these windows as special expeditions, often standing in lines extending around city blocks. Parents hoisted children onto their shoulders for unobstructed views. Stores frequently changed displays weekly throughout the season, encouraging repeated visits. Lord & Taylor's 1966 Enchanted Forest installation showcased 50 animated animal figures. The late 1970s witnessed suburban shopping mall expansion that devastated downtown retail districts. Department stores could no longer justify these enormous expenditures for steadily shrinking audiences. Most retailers eliminated elaborate window displays by 1985. Today's surviving displays lack the theatrical grandeur that once defined urban Christmas experiences. Real candles on Christmas trees. Despite obvious fire dangers, numerous families during the 1960s continued placing actual burning candles on Christmas trees, particularly households maintaining German or Scandinavian heritage. Specialized clip-on holders secured small white candles to individual branch tips. Families lit these candles briefly on Christmas Eve only, keeping water buckets and fire extinguishers within immediate reach. Insurance companies vigorously opposed this hazardous practice while fire departments conducted active campaigns against it, yet the tradition persisted in certain households. The National Fire Protection Association's 1964 report documented 8,000 annual Christmas tree fires with candles representing a leading ignition source. Families implementing this tradition followed strict safety protocols, never abandoning the room, designating dedicated watchers, and limiting lighting duration to 10 minutes maximum. The gentle flickering candlelight produced an incomparable atmosphere that electric illumination simply couldn't replicate. By 1972, most municipalities had enacted ordinances prohibiting the practice, and insurance companies refused coverage for candle-related fire damage. Meanwhile, electric light technology had advanced significantly, providing much safer alternatives. That perilous yet enchanting tradition of genuine flames illuminating Christmas trees has been permanently extinguished. TV Yule Log Broadcasting. New York television station WPIX launched a cultural phenomenon in 1966 by broadcasting continuous footage of a crackling fireplace throughout Christmas Eve. This 3-hour 16mm film depicted a fireplace from Gracie Mansion with accompanying traditional Christmas music. Families lacking actual fireplaces congregated around television sets, playfully pretending the electronic flames generated genuine warmth. The original film production cost $4,000. Other major cities quickly replicated this concept, including Chicago's WGN and Los Angeles' KTLA. The broadcast achieved unexpectedly strong ratings, outperforming conventional holiday programming. Apartment residents particularly embraced this virtual hearth experience. Television critics ridiculed it as representing ultimate programming laziness, yet audiences clearly appreciated the ambient atmosphere. Repeated use deteriorated the original film, necessitating a complete remake in 1970. Cable television's 1980s expansion provided viewers with numerous channel alternatives, eliminating the Yule Log's Christmas Eve viewing monopoly. WPIX discontinued the broadcast in 1990. While digital versions currently exist on streaming platforms like Netflix and YouTube, the communal experience of everyone simultaneously watching the identical broadcast fireplace has been lost. Handmade paper chain decorations. Every 1960s classroom and household displayed extensive construction paper chains throughout the Christmas season. Children invested countless hours cutting colored strips, forming interlocking loops, and gluing them together in long garlands. Colored construction paper packages cost 49 cents in 1967. Schools transformed chain creation into competitive activities, challenging classes to produce the longest continuous chain. Families delegated chain-making responsibilities to children as productive winter break entertainment. The chains followed specific repeating color sequences, typically red, green, white, repeated continuously. Ambitious families created chains from recycled magazine pages or leftover wrapping paper. Libraries and churches organized communal chain-making social events. The Guinness Book of World Records documented a 1969 Michigan chain measuring an incredible 12 miles long. These handmade decorations adorned doorways, windows, fireplace mantels, and stairway banisters throughout homes. Rain or excessive humidity created disasters as paste dissolved, causing chains to disintegrate. By the mid-1970s, inexpensive manufactured garlands made laborious handmade chains seem impractical. Modern parents lack sufficient time for such demanding craft projects. Those repetitive hours of cutting and pasting that once occupied every December evening have vanished entirely. Flocking your own tree. Do-it-yourself tree flocking kits represented standard Christmas supplies throughout the 1960s and early 1970s, enabling families to create artificial snow-covered trees at home. These kits sold for approximately $3.99 in 1968, about $35 today, and included spray application guns, adhesive solutions, and white cellulose fiber material. Families prepared for this messy undertaking by spreading newspapers extensively, mixing chemical solutions, and dedicating several hours to applying the fake snow covering. The procedure required protective goggles and thorough coverage of surrounding furniture and floors. Some ingenious families reversed their vacuum cleaners to blow flocking material onto trees. Professional flocking services charged around $10, making home application significantly more economical. Results ranged dramatically from stunning winter wonderland effects to catastrophic outcomes resembling diseased vegetation. Unknown to consumers, flocking material contained asbestos until 1969, creating serious health hazards. Cleanup extended for days, with white residue mysteriously reappearing months afterward. By 1975, commercially pre-flocked artificial trees offered convenient alternatives. Growing environmental awareness about aerosol propellants and harsh chemicals further discouraged the practice. Modern flocked trees arrive fully prepared from retail stores. That chaotic family project of creating homemade winter wonderlands has completely disappeared. Christmas corsages for women. Every woman during the 1960s holiday season expected to receive and prominently wear an elaborate Christmas corsage. Professional florists assembled intricate arrangements incorporating tiny decorative ornaments, colorful ribbons, and miniature bells alongside traditional flowers. These elaborate corsages cost between $3 and $8 in 1965, approximately $28 to $75 today, depending on complexity and materials. Women wore them prominently to church services, corporate office parties, and family dinner gatherings. Department stores offered simpler ready-made versions for $1.50. The corsages typically featured fresh poinsettia blooms, holly sprigs, miniature pine cones, and small silver bells. Some particularly elaborate versions included tiny battery-powered decorative lights. By 1968, husbands understood that forgetting the Christmas corsage would create significant marital discord. Supermarkets installed refrigerated corsage display cases during December to meet demand. Women engaged in competitive comparisons of their corsages, silently judging their husband's thoughtfulness based on size and elaborateness. Teenage boys purchased them as appropriate Christmas dance gifts for girlfriends. The tradition required adherence to specific etiquette rules regarding wearing on the left shoulder, removing during cooking activities, and proper refrigeration preservation. The 1970s women's liberation movement criticized corsages as symbols representing women as mere decorative objects. By 1975, this tradition was rapidly fading. Modern women might wear holiday-themed jewelry, but formal Christmas corsages have completely vanished. Toy commercials during Saturday cartoons. Saturday morning cartoon programming during December transformed into extended toy advertising marathons. Throughout the 1960s and early 1970s, toy manufacturers purchased massive advertising blocks, repeatedly broadcasting identical commercials throughout morning programming. Children memorized advertising jingles for products like Rock, M-Sock, M-Robots, Easy Bake Ovens, and G.I. Joe action figures. These commercials represented elaborate mini-productions featuring impressive sets designed to make toys appear magical and irresistible. Mattel Corporation alone spent $15 million on Christmas season advertising in 1969. Children deliberately watched specific television programs primarily to view toy commercials, compiling wish lists based entirely on advertised products. The advertisements depicted children playing in impossibly elaborate scenarios with production values far exceeding actual toy capabilities. Basement playrooms magically transformed into military battlefields, while bedrooms became elegant doll mansions. The ubiquitous disclaimer, "Batteries not included," appeared in barely legible fine print. Parents complained vocally about manipulative advertising targeting children, but television networks depended on this lucrative revenue. The Federal Trade Commission investigated deceptive advertising practices, discovering commercials routinely employed camera tricks and special effects to grossly enhance toy capabilities. By 1978, advocacy group Action for Children's Television successfully lobbied for stricter commercial content restrictions. Cable television expansion and VCR technology ended Saturday morning's programming monopoly. Today's children encounter toy advertisements continuously year-round through online platforms, eliminating the concentrated December advertising blitz. Blue laws closing everything. Christmas season Sundays during the 1960s meant virtually all commercial businesses remained completely closed due to strict blue laws. These religiously influenced regulations mandated that all retail establishments shut down on Sundays, particularly during the December holiday season. Forgot crucial Christmas dinner ingredients? Too bad. Stores wouldn't reopen until Monday morning. Needed last-minute gifts? You'd have to wait. Gas stations, grocery stores, and department stores all remained locked tight. Only pharmacies could open for verified emergencies, and some required actual police authorization. The specific regulations varied significantly between states, creating considerable confusion for travelers. Bergen County, New Jersey, maintained America's strictest enforcement, prohibiting even appliance and furniture sales. Families carefully planned ahead, completing Saturday shopping for all Sunday requirements. The enforced quiet Sundays mandated family togetherness, regardless of preference. Churches experienced maximum attendance, as literally no competing activities existed. Restaurant owners lobbied vigorously against these restrictive laws, losing potentially lucrative Sunday business. By 1970, mounting commercial pressure began systematically eroding blue law enforcement. Two-income families desperately needed Sunday shopping availability. The 1961 Supreme Court decision McGowan versus Maryland technically upheld blue laws, but significantly weakened their practical enforcement. By 1978, most states had either completely repealed or simply stopped enforcing them. Today's unrestricted 24/7 Christmas shopping availability would seem utterly impossible to 1960s families. Fruitcake as actual gifts. During the 1960s and early 1970s, giving and receiving fruitcakes represented genuine Christmas tradition rather than the cultural joke it's since become. Families invested days preparing homemade versions, soaking dried fruits in brandy for months before baking. Creating a quality fruitcake required approximately $5 worth of ingredients in 1968, about $45 in current money. Commercial bakeries like Collins Street Bakery distributed millions nationwide through mail order. Recipients genuinely appreciated receiving them, proudly serving fruitcake slices to holiday guests. The extremely dense cakes remained edible for months without refrigeration, making them practical gifts during an era before convenient overnight shipping. Corporate offices exchanged fruitcakes between different departments as traditional gifts. Some families treasure recipes passed through multiple generations, featuring secret ingredient combinations. Proper fruitcakes required extensive aging, with the finest examples prepared in October for Christmas distribution. Mail-order fruitcakes arrived in attractive decorated tins that recipients repurposed as household storage containers. Johnny Carson's persistent Tonight Show jokes throughout the 1970s initiated fruitcakes' reputation collapse. By 1980, fruitcakes had transformed into comedy props rather than sincere, appreciated gifts. The tradition of genuinely desiring, crafting, and appreciating fruitcakes has entirely disappeared, sending Christmas cards to everyone. The 1960s marked the absolute peak of American Christmas card culture, with Americans mailing 4 billion cards annually by 1968. Families meticulously maintained extensive card mailing lists containing hundreds of names, updating addresses annually in dedicated record books. A standard box containing 50 cards cost $2.99 in 1965, approximately $28 today. The elaborate process typically commenced in November, involving addressing hundreds of envelopes, composing personal handwritten notes, and affixing individual postage stamps. Some organized families included detailed annual newsletters recounting their year's significant events, laboriously typed on carbon paper to produce multiple copies simultaneously. Christmas card displays evolved into competitive household decorations. People artfully arranged cards on fireplace mantels or strung them on decorative ribbons stretched across doorways. Receiving cards from geographically distant relatives or old friends often provided the only annual communication between them. Mail carriers delivered bulging bags of Christmas cards daily throughout December. The U.S. Postal Service hired thousands of temporary seasonal workers to manage increased volume. Corporations printed special employee directories, specifically facilitating workplace card exchanges. The zip code system introduced in 1963 significantly improved addressing efficiency. By 1980, declining long-distance telephone rates reduced cards' communication necessity. Email and social media platforms eventually eliminated the communication void that Christmas cards historically filled. Today's average American household mails merely 20 cards annually, primarily to elderly relatives. Christmas seals on everything. Those small decorative charity stamps issued by the American Lung Association appeared on virtually every Christmas envelope and package throughout the 1960s and mid-1970s. Originally introduced in 1907, Christmas seals achieved peak distribution when 85 million American households received them in 1967. The seals displayed various holiday-themed designs including Santa Claus, reindeer, snowmen, and Christmas trees, with artwork changing annually. Sheets of seals arrived unsolicited in mail accompanied by charitable donation requests. Most families felt morally obligated to contribute if they used the provided seals. A typical household donation amounted to $2 in 1965, approximately $18 today. Schools organized competitive seal sales campaigns offering prizes for top student sellers. People used them decoratively far beyond postal mail, affixing them to wrapped gifts, windows, mirrors, and refrigerators. The 1969 design, illustrated by Norman Rockwell, became particularly collectible. Using Christmas seals publicly demonstrated community spirit and charitable commitment. The nationwide campaign raised $35 million during 1968 alone. Intensifying direct mail fundraising competition combined with donor fatigue significantly reduced their impact by 1980. Email communication completely eliminated the envelope decorating opportunity that had sustained the tradition. Though Christmas seals continue existing today, their formerly ubiquitous presence on every holiday mailing has vanished forever. Christmas bonus cash envelopes. Employers throughout the 1960s and early 1970s routinely distributed cash-filled envelopes as expected Christmas bonuses, a widespread practice that's now virtually extinct. The typical 1968 bonus amounted to one full week salary paid entirely in cash, delivered personally by supervisors during the final workday preceding Christmas. These weren't merit-based performance bonuses, but rather expected seasonal gifts to all employees. Even small local businesses enthusiastically participated in this tradition. Grocery stores, gas stations, and manufacturing facilities all distributed cash bonuses. The currency arrived as crisp new bills specially ordered from banks that deliberately stocked extra cash for the bonus season. Employees depended completely on these bonuses for Christmas shopping, sometimes purchasing gifts in advance based on anticipated bonus amounts. The envelopes frequently included personalized Christmas cards from company owners. Some companies conducted formal envelope distribution ceremonies where bosses individually called each employee forward. Tax regulations remained considerably looser, permitting cash payments without immediate withholding documentation. Union contracts frequently specified contractually guaranteed minimum bonus amounts. The personal gesture of receiving physical cash in an envelope generated genuine employee gratitude and loyalty. By the late 1970s, increasingly strict IRS regulations demanded comprehensive documentation. Direct deposit banking and impersonal gift cards systematically replaced tangible cash envelopes. That uniquely exciting moment of opening an envelope overflowing with Christmas cash has completely disappeared. Cigarettes as Christmas gifts. Difficult to imagine today, but cigarettes represented premium, desirable Christmas gifts throughout the 1960s and well into the early 1970s. Festively wrapped cigarette cartons sat prominently beneath Christmas trees. Manufacturers produced special Christmas packaging featuring elaborate holiday designs. Philip Morris created complete gift sets bundling cigarettes with matching lighters and decorative ashtrays. A standard carton cost $2.40 in 1965, approximately $22 today, positioning them as affordable yet substantial gifts. Magazine advertisements prominently depicted Santa Claus smoking with slogans proclaiming, "Give the gift of pleasure." Even confirmed non-smokers routinely gave cigarettes as sophisticated appropriate presents. Teenage children purchased cigarette gifts for parents without any controversy or age restrictions. Major department stores established dedicated Christmas cigarette gift sections with special displays. Some cigarette brands offered Christmas promotional bonuses where collecting package wrappers earned merchandise rewards. Hospitals distributed cigarettes to patients as Christmas treats without recognizing health contradictions. The landmark 1964 Surgeon General's report warning about smoking dangers produced minimal immediate impact on gift-giving traditions. Television commercials aggressively promoted cigarettes as thoughtful Christmas presents through 1970. The 1971 federal ban on broadcast tobacco advertising initiated gradual perception changes. By 1975, giving cigarettes increasingly seemed socially inappropriate. Today, cigarettes as Christmas gifts would be widely considered offensive and potentially dangerous. Live Christmas trees in classrooms. Every 1960s classroom featured its own genuine fresh-cut Christmas tree installed after Thanksgiving and collaboratively decorated by students. Teachers voluntarily spent their own money, approximately $5 in 1965, about $45 today, personally selecting perfect trees. Individual classes competed fiercely for Best Decoration awards with school principals formally judging contests. Students created handmade ornaments during designated art class sessions, producing paper snowflakes, popcorn garland strings, and construction paper chains. The living trees required daily watering, creating rotating student responsibility schedules. Pine needle cleanup duties became standard punishment assignments for misbehaving students. Some particularly ambitious teachers professionally flocked entire trees directly inside classrooms, creating spectacular, magnificent messes. The inherent fire hazard was genuinely enormous with dry trees, highly flammable paper decorations, and dangerously overloaded electrical outlets combined. Several tragic, devastating school fires during the early 1970s prompted strict regulatory changes. Artificial trees mandatorily replaced real ones by 1975. Student allergy concerns eventually eliminated even artificial trees from many schools. Subsequently, growing religious diversity awareness made any Christmas trees increasingly controversial in public education settings. Insurance companies categorically refuse coverage for facilities containing real trees. Today's sterile, minimal winter decorations, when they exist at all, cannot compare remotely to the powerful sensory memory of pine-scented classrooms filled with twinkling, colorful lights. That once universal, shared experience of collaboratively decorating classroom Christmas trees has completely vanished from American public education. Stockings with oranges and nuts. Christmas stockings during the 1960s and early 1970s invariably contained a fresh orange nestled in the toe, alongside mixed nuts still in shells, representing a Depression-era tradition that persisted for decades afterward. The orange historically symbolized exotic luxury during winter months, when fresh fruit remained genuinely rare and expensive. Even prosperous 1960s families faithfully maintained this customary practice. Whole nuts required specialized crackers and metal picks, creating engaging Christmas morning activities for children. Children firmly expected discovering these specific items, feeling genuinely disappointed or cheated without them. Walnuts, Brazil nuts, pecans, and hazelnuts came in decorative net bags costing 79 cents in 1968. The orange was invariably a navel variety, individually wrapped in delicate tissue paper. Some families additionally included tangerines, apples, or exotic pomegranates. Traditional stockings also routinely contained distinctive ribbon candy, chocolate coins wrapped in gold foil, and striped candy canes. Remaining space accommodated small, inexpensive toys like jacks, marbles, and yo-yos. By the mid-1970s, year-round fresh fruit availability made oranges seem mundane rather than special. Convenient pre-shelled nuts replaced troublesome whole varieties requiring cracking. Expensive electronic games and costly small gifts dramatically transformed stocking content expectations. Today's Christmas stockings routinely contain gift cards and electronic devices worth hundreds of dollars. That simple childhood pleasure of discovering an orange and nuts on Christmas morning has vanished completely. Mandatory office Christmas parties. Throughout the 1960s and early 1970s, attending your employer's Christmas party wasn't merely optional social activity, but rather an unwritten mandatory requirement, directly affecting career advancement prospects. These elaborate formal affairs held at prestigious hotels or exclusive country clubs commenced promptly at 6 p.m. on designated Friday evenings during December. Companies invested lavishly in these events. General Motors' 1968 Detroit celebration cost $50,000, approximately $425,000 today. Attending wives wore expensive formal gowns while husbands rented tuxedos specifically for the occasion. The parties featured live, full orchestras rather than recorded music or DJs. Open bars dispensed unlimited alcohol without contemporary liability concerns or restrictions. Dancing appropriately with the boss's wife represented politically crucial career maneuvering. Missing the party required extensive explanations for subsequent months. Some major companies chartered dedicated buses for employee transportation. The evening's highlight typically featured the CEO's formal speech announcing year-end bonuses. Mandatory gift exchanges occurred with everyone observing. Secretaries received predictable perfume gifts while executives obtained leather desk accessories. Office romances dramatically sparked into existence and spectacularly ended at these gatherings. Polaroid cameras captured embarrassing candid moments that became enduring office folklore. By 1975, women's workplace equality movements made spouse-required events increasingly problematic. Drunk driving lawsuits effectively eliminated open bar policies. Economic recessions killed extravagant party budgets. Today's optional casual office gatherings bear absolutely no resemblance to those mandatory formal spectacles. Christmas morning trash burning. Immediately after opening presents, 1960s families routinely burned discarded wrapping paper, cardboard boxes, and decorative ribbons in living room fireplaces or backyard incinerators. This practical tradition efficiently cleared massive paper accumulations before municipal garbage collection services resumed after extended holiday closures. The dramatic burning process created spectacular, colorful flames from metallic and printed wrapping papers, providing unexpected entertainment for children. Families carefully preserved some quality ribbons and elaborate bows for potential reuse, but most disposable decorations fed the flames. The distinctive smell of burning Christmas wrapping paper became an indelible sensory memory associated with Christmas morning. Some traditional communities established informal noon burning times when every neighborhood chimney simultaneously showed smoke. Rural families utilized dedicated burn barrels, creating impressive towering flames visible for considerable distances. Fire departments consistently reported significant spikes in emergency calls on Christmas morning, responding to out-of-control wrapping paper fires. Metallic papers produced dramatic multicolored flames, while simultaneously releasing toxic chemical fumes that nobody understood or worried about. By 1970, new air quality regulations increasingly restricted residential burning activities. Growing recycling awareness made deliberate burning seem environmentally wasteful and irresponsible. Modern reusable gift bags and deliberately recyclable wrapping materials ended the excess disposable paper tradition. Dramatically increased packaging volume from modern toys made burning completely impractical. Rising environmental consciousness systematically eliminated this tradition by 1978. Today's careful sorting for recycling and responsible trash separation completely replaced the dramatic theatrical finale of Christmas morning bonfires. That memorable ritual of watching Christmas's colorful paper remains disappear and flames has completely vanished. Christmas plays in every school. Public schools during the 1960s and early 1970s universally presented elaborate Christmas pageants without generating any significant controversy. Every enrolled child participated regardless of personal religious background or family preferences. These ambitious productions consumed substantial December curriculum time, requiring weeks of intensive rehearsals. The 1968 Supreme Court case Epperson versus Arkansas hadn't yet triggered widespread concerns about religious content in public education. School productions prominently featured traditional nativity scenes, complete with angels, wise men, and explicitly Christian religious songs. Dedicated mothers spent months hand-sewing elaborate costumes. Ordinary bed sheets transformed into authentic shepherd robes, while tin-foil covered cardboard to create shining crowns. Evening performances completely packed school auditoriums with extended families attending. Schools competed intensely for producing the most elaborate sets and costumes. Teachers voluntarily spent personal money purchasing additional decorations and props. Local newspapers published serious reviews critiquing elementary school Christmas productions. The annual Christmas play determined crucial social hierarchies among students. Who received casting as Mary or Joseph carried enormous social significance. Jewish, Muslim, and atheist families rarely voiced public objections during this era. Some traditional schools performed identical classic plays annually for decades. By 1975, ACLU legal challenges systematically began eliminating explicitly religious content from public school programming. Generic winter concerts replaced traditional Christmas pageants. Vague seasonal themes replaced specific nativity story presentations. Today's carefully secular school holiday programs bear absolutely no resemblance to the openly religious Christmas productions that once universally defined December in every American public school. Company-sponsored children's parties. Major employers during the 1960s and early 1970s hosted elaborate Christmas parties designed specifically for employees' children, complete with live Santa appearances, age-appropriate gifts, and professional entertainment. Ford Motor Company's 1967 Detroit celebration entertained an impressive 15,000 children, costing approximately $75,000, about $650,000 in current money. These festive Saturday afternoon events featured professional magicians, puppet shows, and theatrical cartoon film screenings. Every attending child received carefully selected age-appropriate gifts chosen by dedicated human resource department staff. Authentic department store quality Santas patiently listened to children's wishes while professional photographers captured memorable moments. Companies rented massive convention centers or elaborately decorated their own factory floors for these celebrations. Complimentary lunch included unlimited hot dogs, hamburgers, ice cream, and soda. Some particularly extravagant parties featured pony rides, miniature train rides, and carnival game booths. Employees enthusiastically volunteered as costumed elves, serving food and organizing children's games and activities. These elaborate parties deliberately built company loyalty and fostered genuine community among workers' families. Children formed lasting friendships with co-workers' children through these annual gatherings. By 1975, prohibitively expensive liability insurance premiums made these events financially unsustainable. Working mothers couldn't reliably attend Saturday afternoon events. Increasingly diverse workforces made Christmas-specific celebrations potentially problematic. Aggressive corporate cost-cutting systematically eliminated such perceived extravagances by 1980. Today's companies might offer generic family movie passes or modest gift cards, but elaborate, dedicated children's Christmas parties have completely vanished from American corporate culture. Which of these vanished traditions brings back your strongest Christmas memories from childhood? Share your personal stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this nostalgic journey, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for more trips down memory lane.